Greg Famlin here from Blues Guitar Unleashed. Welcome, thanks for joining me. In today's video, I want to talk to you about one of my all-time favorite shapes. Now, probably, number one amongst most all of us is going to be, the classic box patterns for the minor pentatonic scale. Right? Box 1, box 2, etc., etc. And I won't get too into them right now. I have other videos where I cover them. You probably already know them by now. So let's assume that that's all covered. This that I want to show you today is a slightly different pattern that kind of bridges some gaps, we'll say. If I start on any root and I'm an A, okay, I have a couple of different options. Well, I have a major and a minor. We're going to start with minor, okay? So notice that I'm going to put my third finger on the root. This step tends to cause the most confusion with this pattern. So please pay attention and notice that I'm using my third finger, all right? I have two notes on this string that are in my scale. That's it, okay? There's the root, there's the flatted seventh, I go back to the root. Without changing the fret that I'm on, I'm just going to go up to the next string. And I will have my flat third and my fourth, and I will slide up and get my fifth, which is all of the 5 notes of the minor pentatonic scale. Okay, now, what tends to trip people up is the fact that my first finger is not on the root. You don't have to have your first finger on the root. You can have any finger on the root. I'm using my third. But notice that when I play the pattern, I always come back to my root. And this, I think, is the key. If you want to add the blue note in, you can. It's between the 4th and the 5th. But I commonly call this the 2+3 pattern. Because there's 2 notes on this string, and there's 3 notes on this string. Now, here's the part where it gets fun. My fingers are already in position to do all of that again. Literally, all I have to do is take that third finger, right, from where it landed, and just go up to the next string. So I have 2 plus 3, 2 plus 3. Now I would be in place, but this is the B string, so I gotta add a fret. 2 plus 3. If I go backwards, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, and here I am. Okay, so that right there is really cool. Okay, you'll notice that I'm kind of moving, if we look at it, I'll say from the box standpoint, this is technically box 5, box 1, box 2, box 3 is where I actually end up. And now here's the thing that I do want you to notice, okay, is if you're aware of, for example, this is box 5. Then at any point, okay, if I want to get away from this 3.2 pattern, 3+2 pattern, I know where I am. And this is the thing that I think is most often neglected. I see people teach this pattern. They call it all kinds of fancy things. And what gets neglected, I think, the most, at least from what I've seen, is how to connect it back to the stuff you already know. Because the reality is you've probably got a ton of cool box 1 licks. Okay, great. If I do that, and in the middle of the scale, in the middle of the box, I go, oh, I could use my 2+3 pattern to get out of here, but do I know where I am now? I'm in box 3. And when I get down here to this A, I can do it again. And I can end up all the way up here. But it's gonna be a different set of boxes, right? Box 3. Now I'm in box 4. Now I'm in box 5. Okay, so if, for example, if I'm in the key of A, and what's cool is that, remember, it doesn't matter if I change keys. It's always gonna work out the same way. So if I go to like the key of C, right, it's kind of nice to know that when I go through that pattern once, I'm in box 1, right, in case I want to throw in something there. When I go through it again, I'm at the top of box 2. Right? When I go through it again, and way up here, I'm at box 3. Okay, so I want to be able to integrate it back into where I was. If I happen to start it from a 5th string root, and I go through the pattern once, I'm in box 4. If I go through it again, I'm in box 5. When I get to the end, I'm in box 5, then I can go to box 1. Right? So I can, by being aware of which box kind of, area I'm in, right? And you only have to remember it once. That's the other thing. Okay, so don't freak out if you have to do that, because like, let's say I go to the key of E. Okay, well, so key of C, I was in box 4. Well, key of E, same thing, right? It doesn't matter. Key of A, that's box 4. Like, you only have to do that once. It doesn't change for the different keys. I think that scares a lot of people. Okay, so keep that in mind, that like if you learn the A minor, right? Let's say you go through A minor, and you're like, all right, well, I know that this is box 5. When I go through the pattern once, I'm in box 1. When I go through it again, I'm in box 2. When I go through it again, I'm in box 3. I mean, it's 1, 2, 3, right? 5, 1, 2, 3. It's not even complicated. It's the numbers even go in order for you, right? So if you got all that, then you kind of know where you are. And if you pick any other root, nothing changes at all, ever. That's one of the great things about the guitar. I can't remember that much stuff. So I love guitar for that reason. Every single key is exactly the same. Okay, now let's throw a slight monkey wrench into this, or we're going to expand it, but we're going to make it a little bit funky. Okay, and here's how we're going to do it. The key of A minor is the same as the key of C major. Okay, so this same pattern could also be a C major pentatonic. Okay, now that right there, a lot of people are like, whoa, that's kind of mind-blowing. So let's do a little something. All right, let's put into my looper nothing fancy, a simple A minor chord. Right? So now I'm going to play this pattern starting from A. So hopefully you heard, right? It sounds really A minor because it's an A minor chord, right? If there was an A major-y kind of thing going on, it would sound very, very different. But it is assuming that we have a chord progression that lends itself to the A minor pentatonic scale. That's going to sound great. What happens if we do the opposite? Let's say we put in a nice C major kind of thing. and I use the same pattern. But that's my root. Okay, so hopefully you can hear that too sounds really, really good. When I start from C and I make C the most important note, I'm playing the key of C major. I'm using the C major pentatonic scale. When I start from the A and I make A the most important note, I'm in the A minor pentatonic scale. But of course I can move it anywhere. So you don't want to necessarily think notes. Let's say I want to be in the D minor pentatonic scale. I'm going to put my third finger on the D. I'm going to play the pattern. If I want to be in F, right, or if I want D major, I'll put my first finger there. I have to go down, right? But I have 3 plus 2, right? I tend to call this the 3 plus 2 pattern to start from this root, but it's really the same as the 2 plus 3 pattern starting from a minor root. You can start either way. You can call them whatever you want. It really doesn't matter. Because of the way the guitar fretboard is laid out, you end up playing the same pattern over and over and over again. Because again, every time we go through the pattern, we just start over. Or either one will work. But again, I want to encourage you to pay attention to the fact that as you play through those, and again, there's only 2. Okay, we either start from here, which is the 6th string, box 5, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now, if I go to any other key and I start on the 6th string, it's going to be exactly the same. Box 5, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's the way the guitar is built. If I start on the 5th string, I have box 3, 4, 5, and it doesn't change. And again, any key will work. Well, you might say, okay, well, what if you start on the 4th string? Well, if I start on the 4th string, I might as well have started on the 6th string. It's going to be exactly the same. So box 1, 2, 3. What if you wanted to start on the 3rd string? Again, I might as well have started on the 5th string. So box 4, 5. Okay, so there's literally only 2. There's 2 places you can start, the 6th string or the 5th string. You're either going to get the 6, 4, 2 pair trio, or you're going to get the 5, 3, 1. That's it. There's no other options. This pattern just falls across the fretboard. It's actually really, really straightforward. But I see a lot of people struggle with it. And I do kind of understand, but try not to overthink it. It really is just a pattern. You got to pay attention to which finger, to start on. But once you've got that, just plug the chord, just play the chord into your looper and just noodle around with it for a while. If you hit a wrong note, I promise you'll hear it, right? If you like just, or you're just trying to play like an A minor and you go to the wrong place, it's going to be really obvious really quickly. So just trust your ear, okay? It's a lot of fun to just kind of noodle over things. And again, pick various points to stop and go into the box, right? If you probably have some licks. from, box 2. So stop when you get to box 2 and go into one of those licks. These are great connectors. Okay, now if you love Dickie Betts, Dwayne, Allman Brothers type stuff, Molly Hatch and all that sort of Southern rock thing, right? Well, then the major, that major pentatonic, I'll say 3+2 pattern, is everywhere throughout that type of music. So you might want to lean, same with country music, you may want to lean a little bit more on that particular variation. But you should be perfectly comfortable doing it either way because the notes don't change, the patterns don't change. The only thing that changes is whether your third finger is the root or your first finger is the root. So I hope you dig this, have some fun with it, play around with it. Again, it's a fantastic pattern. Integrate it to the stuff you already know. Right? So if you're already playing different licks in boxes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is a pattern that you can use to connect those boxes. Maybe you've got a great lick in box 1 and a great lick in box 4, but no way to get from one to the other. Now you do. Now you got it. All right? So as always, if you have guitar playing friends that you think would benefit from this video, I hope you'll share it with them. I'm Griff Hamlin from Blues Guitar Unleashed. I'll leave some links near this video to some fun stuff you can get for free and otherwise, and I hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.